Some politicians believe that if they use vulgar, abusive language, that perhaps they will get more publicity, there will be more coverage there in the media. If you think that you will use abusive language and the people will get to you, that's not possible. Politicians, I don't know where they are groomed, how they are groomed, they did not follow the dictum, they did not follow the decorum. It has been seen for a long time now that there has been a decline in the standards of public speaking as far as the politicians are concerned. They no doubt raise issues, but they do not take care of the language they use. When they speak in public, they do not remain mindful of the fact that a large section of the society is there which actually watches them speak and listens to their utterances. Some politicians believe that if they use vulgar, abusive language, that perhaps they will get more publicity, there will be more coverage there in the media, and because of that, most of the people will come to know about them. But I believe that it is completely a mistaken belief. It is not like that. People do not actually like the person, or they do not approve of the person who uses foul language. Whosoever it is going to be there, even if it is going to be their opponent or it is going to be their supporter, the fact is that the politicians should always know that it is only a beautiful language that will win them the hearts of the people. It is a very polished language that is important for them to stay afloat there in the world of politics. But that's not happening these days. They, from the different stages, from the different platforms, resort to a very unparliamentary language. A language which is chiseled with abusive invectives and insinuations. It is very, very unfortunate. They are supposed to be the role models of the people, and particularly the young population which wants to follow them. If they use this kind of the language, then how is it possible for the people to follow them, to accept them as their leaders? I would like to make it very clear to them that you will win the hearts of the people only by your wise counsels, by your strong speeches, and by your very solid and sound utterances. If you think that you will use abusive language and the people will get to you, that's not possible. Because even in today, we find no doubt we're a digital generation. The fact is that people still love to listen to the language which is polished, which is very decent, which is giving you the reflection of a suave personality. And if you do not use this kind of the language, you are never going to rule the hearts of the people. So, as far as the politicians are concerned, they have resorted to different kinds of the tactics. They think that from the public platforms, if they ridicule anyone, if they basically show somebody in the poor light, and if they use any kind of the language which is indecent and unacceptable, perhaps there is going to be wide coverage there in the media. Perhaps the people will actually talk about him, because of which he is going to hit the headlines. No doubt he will get the headlines. The fact is that he is never going to win the hearts and minds of the people. So why is it then a tendency among the people, particularly the politicians, to use very rough language? Why don't they understand that there is going to be public reaction? Why don't they also understand the fact that there can be public consequences also? Because nobody, even in today's India, likes the language they use. They must remember that the people always look for the language which is decent, which is polite. I remember the days when Atal Bihari Vajpayee used to be called one of the greatest orators. Even there have been the politicians there in the past who have used very good oratory skills to get the confidence and the trust of the people. But today, that's far from what exactly is happening there in the society. Politicians, I don't know where they are groomed, how they are groomed. They do not follow the dictum, they do not follow the decorum. And it's very unfortunate that the people are there who still follow them. I don't know how it is possible for the people to really accept this kind of the language when the people are using that kind of the language, and particularly in the public platforms. They are also unmindful of the fact that there are the girls, the daughters, the sisters, the mothers, they are around. They also listen to their languages. They have a different kind of the impression. They get completely very, very annoyed, and also they abhor such kind of the language. And that's where I think that if these politicians don't understand, there have to be the consequences and that they have to pay price for the language they use, then I believe that they are the fools of the first water. They must know that ultimately it is the language that basically attracts the people. If there is something that you introduce yourself to the world today, it is because of the language. And if the language is not very well spoken, and if it's not decent, and if it's not going to be sweet and saccharine, then surely you are not anywhere likely to get more and more people to you. You're not going to attract the people for you. So in the end, I like to tell you that as far as public discourse is concerned, politicians, leaders, people, particularly those who are supposed to be there in the important positions in the society, must remember that the language has to be always well polished. It has to be very delicate, decent, and it has also to be very attractive. If the language is that way, then only you are going to win the confidence of the people. Otherwise, you will always receive brickbats and ridicule from the people.